Have you heard of Bell & Ross? Today, we're going to talk about a very cool watch, a novelty from Watches and Wonders, from a brand I haven't reviewed on this channel yet. The brand is Bell & Ross, a company founded in the early 90s in France and is focused on building watches for professionals in the aviation space or diving space. So the watch I have here with me is the BR-03 Astro. And you will instantly notice that this case shape is very distinct. That's because the case shapes of Bell & Ross watches are derived from the instruments found in fighter jets. Therefore, we have a square case with screws on the case visible, but they are aligned, at least on this watch. You will think that this watch actually wears very big. On my 16.5 centimeters in circumference wrist, it actually wears very comfortable. We have a height of just under 12 millimeters and a case diameter of 41 millimeters. Therefore, the lug-to-lug won't be that much bigger as it's a square watch. We also have a mechanical automatic movement with 54 hours of power reserve. And the watch is 100 meters water resistant. But the cool part about this particular watch, and the reason I was very intrigued to review it, is the dial and the time telling on the dial, because it's a bit different than what you're used to. As you have a glance on the dial, you will notice that there are no hands as you would find in classical watches, but you have the Earth, the Moon, a satellite, and the red dot is the Mars planet. And these are rotating around the Earth. Mars is telling you the hours, which is quite funny because it's the outermost indication, which is normally the seconds hand or the minutes hand. Here it is the hours. Then you have the moon that tells you the minutes, and the satellite obviously is telling the seconds. And all of that on a aventurine base, which is awesome. I like aventurine very much because it sparkles so much. And depending on the light that hits, it's either more sparkly or more blue or less sparkly and goes into a darker blackish hue. Other than that, it is supposed to represent the outer space. And therefore we have a depiction of outer space with the planets, not all of them, but particular planets surrounding the Earth. All of that in a ceramic case. And if you're now wondering, this watch is really cool, I'd like to get it, you should be quick, because the watch is limited to 999 pieces, priced around 5,000 euros. I'm pretty sure that these 1,000 pieces or 999 pieces are gonna be sold out pretty quick. What do I like or dislike about the watch? Let's start off with the dislike. The watch is quite heavy. Even though Bell & Ross utilized a ceramic case, which is very nicely finished, I would have preferred a titanium case. Titanium is more used nowadays for professional watches and it's more lighter on the wrist. And the second point I'd like to make is the strap. Although it's a big watch, I would have wished for a smaller lug width on the watch. Nowadays, you can't really find bigger sized straps for your watches. Bell & Ross offers a selection of different kinds of straps, but it would have been nice to finalize the case in a way that you could utilize 22 millimeters of different kinds of watch straps. There you have much more selection and it would be more user-friendly, and the bonus would be a quick exchange mechanism. You could use just a standard quick exchange push pin, which is much more user-friendly than having to use tools to exchange the watch straps. Bell & Ross did a quite clever thing. They've put holes on the lugs, on the side of the lugs, which enables you to change the watch straps easier compared to having lugs without holes. But now let's focus on what I really like about the watch, the dial, and its poetic aesthetic. With the satellite running around the Earth and the base made out of aventurine. It just looks very, very cool, and it's gonna sparkle in summer when the light hits. It looks very aesthetically pleasing, and it feels like a very fun watch to add to your collection, which is just a little bit different from what you're used to. The bonus thing here is, what I really like is the depiction of the Earth, because as you will notice, the dial or the sapphire crystal on the case is completely flat, but somehow Bell & Ross managed to give the impression of a 3D image of the Earth, and this is really, really cool because it goes to show how much detail and how much love they put into creating this dial. And just look at the details of the satellite, the Earth, and the planets. They are very, very nicely done, and this is just a very cool dial. I wouldn't be me if I wouldn't have different kinds of strap options on how you could wear this watch, because the rubber strap, the black rubber strap that the watch comes with, is completely fine. But I'd like to wear the watch in a different kind of situation with a different kind of aesthetic or style, then I want to be able to do so. And the first strap that I have brought with me is our Hirsch Robbie strap, a hybrid strap made out of leather on top, which is black matte finished, and a rubber core, which is blue. I chose this strap because it gives the watch a bit more of a sporty and fun aesthetic. It matches the blue of the Earth and gives it a much more fun aesthetic. Imagine you're wearing this watch in summer and you're wearing this watch on the beach or at the pool because the watch is 100 meters water resistant. I would imagine wearing this with blue swim shorts, for example, a blue linen shirt, and therefore I'd put on a blue strap, but not a funky blue strap because this would distract from the dial, but a toned down blue strap in combination with a black upper leather that gives just a light hint of blue and underlines the overall aesthetic of the watch. The next strap that I've chosen was a bit more of an elegant strap. This is the Osiris, and it's made out of calf leather, and it has a more of an elegant aesthetic. And you will see that wearing this watch, by changing the style of the watch strap, you can change the style of the overall watch itself. I would imagine that wearing this in a bit more of a semi-formal occasion with a leather strap. So for example, if I'm going to the office and I'd be dressed like this, I would want to wear this black leather strap because it would tone down the overall sporty aesthetic of the watch itself, but give just a little bit of hint of elegance to it. I wouldn't go too shiny, but I would rather opt for a similar aesthetic, semi-shiny or matte in a leather watch strap. The watch has a lug width of 24 millimeters. So if you have this watch or if you have any other BR-03, then the watches will have a lug width of 24 millimeters. Therefore, you can choose 24 millimeters of different kinds of straps, being it rubber or leather, doesn't matter, just so you know. That's it for this video. All the links will be down below to the watch straps, to the watch itself, and thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video, and as always, don't forget to subscribe, and if you feel like it, put a thumbs up. Thank you very much. See you in the next one. Bye bye.